Ms. Sullivan, you're recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, distinguished members of the committee. My name is Kelley Sullivan, and I'm a beef cattle producer. I own and operate Santa Rosa Ranch in Crockett, Texas, and I'm here today on behalf of the National Cattlemen's Beef Association, and I'm honored to provide you with our perspective on the importance of trade with our customers in the Asia-Pacific region. As someone who personally visited our customers in July in both Korea and Japan, I have firsthand observations of the strong demand for U.S. beef. Over the years, exports have become critical to the success of the U.S. beef industry in rural economies. In 2016, we sold over $6.3 billion worth of beef products to other countries, with exports alone accounting for over $290 of value per head. We expect these values to increase in response to growth in foreign demand. Our perspective on international trade stems from a basic premise. If we're going to raise the cattle and produce beef, we need competitive access to consumers who are willing to pay for our products. For many years, Americans have been our primary focus because Americans prefer ribeyes, tenderloins, and hamburger, and are willing to pay a higher price. But other beef cuts, such as short ribs, tongues, and livers, fetch a lower price in the domestic market, but actually yield great premiums in foreign markets. For this reason, we are increasingly looking beyond our borders for opportunities to maximize sales, and Asia is a prime target. As more Asian consumers join the middle class, they're adding protein, like beef, to their diets. Simply put, trade allows us to capitalize on the differences in consumer preferences and capture value that would not exist if we sold to the domestic market alone. Today, the success or failure of the U.S. beef industry depends on our level of access to global consumers. Our top export markets include Japan, Korea, Mexico, Canada, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. In 2016, 84% of our export sales came from these 6 markets. So you can see why we get nervous about market access being threatened. We have consistently encouraged the U.S. government to aggressively pursue opportunities to remove tariff and non-tariff barriers around the world. As a result, the U.S. beef industry has reaped the benefits of trade policies, such as implementation of NAFTA and KORUS. Our future success hinges on our ability to avoid the mistakes of the past and take an aggressive nature in support of trade liberalization. We are very excited that after 14 years in exile, U.S. beef access has been restored to China. While previous administrations worked diligently to address China's concerns and negotiate terms, it was the Trump administration that closed the deal and restored U.S. beef access to China this summer. Our negotiators worked hard to secure market access terms that are superior to terms of our competitors, and we view China as an important investment for the future of our industry. While we're excited about the opportunities that China holds, we're very concerned with statements from our government that may jeopardize our success under KORUS. Let me be clear, we have absolutely nothing to gain by walking away from KORUS. Despite criticism of KORUS from anti-trade groups and even some leaders within our government, the U.S. beef industry has thrived under KORUS. Korea is now our second largest export market, accounting for over $1 billion in annual sales. In fact, annual U.S. beef sales have increased 82% during KORUS. If we dissolve KORUS, Korea will undoubtedly reinstate a 40% tariff on U.S. beef, and we will lose our competitive advantage over Australia and other countries. While Korea is our second greatest export market, Japan is the top export market for U.S. beef. In 2016, Japanese consumers purchased $1.5 billion worth of U.S. beef, even with a 38.5% tariff in place. 2017 has been a record year for U.S. beef in Japan, reaching nearly $1.1 billion in sales just through July. Due to that success, however, Japan triggered a snapback tariff of 50% on frozen beef. It went from 38.5% to 50% overnight. Without a free trade agreement in place, U.S. frozen beef will continue facing the 50% tariff until April 2018, and we could face this higher tariff again in future years without a trade agreement. In contrast, Australian beef imports are not subject to the 50% snapback tariff because they have a trade agreement in place with Japan. Instead, Australia enjoys a stable 27% tariff rate. Many U.S. beef producers are eagerly looking for a solution, and NCBA strongly supported the TPP because it would have lowered the tariff on U.S. beef from 38.5% to 9% in 16 years. Remember, we are currently sitting at 50% because TPP is not in place or some sort of bilateral agreement. Unfortunately, the decision to remove the United States from TPP puts us at a significant disadvantage. We would ask U.S. negotiators to focus on securing new market access for U.S. beef exports, starting with making up the ground we lost walking away. It's time for the U.S. government to make it right and expend all necessary resources to secure strong market access for future generations of U.S. beef producers. Thank you.
Good job on getting that all out right at the end.
That was not easy for a talkative person, I will promise you. Thank you.